Heyo, it's Samesies. So, with the Christmas event that's going on right now on our server, I thought I'd do a exploration of the crater, the Azshara Crater, because it's pretty cool. And when you're playing it, you don't really have time to like go explore it. And then I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool. So I'm gonna fly around with commands on here on a private server, just on my own computer that I've got set up, and I'll show a little clip of like not necessarily the setup, but just me starting the server. I just don't want people to think that like I'm running around on Warmain or something like that. This is my own private server. But anyway, I'm gonna play the video at like 4 times speed. So if you want to click on um, the times player, like in the bottom right corner of YouTube, you can times it by a quarter or half or what have you, and slow it down however you want. I just didn't want the video to be like really really long while I talk about it, and then maybe mute it. If you do slow it down, so you don't have to listen to me in quarter speed or what have you. But anyway, it's pretty cool. I found a couple of cool things. It took me a while to like actually get into it and get my bearings. But the place that you start off, like for the event that's going on right now, at least the area that we have access to on a server, is kind of like the Night Elf area. So I'll kind of slow it down for that area, so you can get your bearings or what have you. But there's a lot more to the crater than just the area that we get to see. A whole lot more. So anyway, I'm gonna fly around with times 10 speed and fly on so that I can explore it without taking 16 years and see if I can see anything cool. But I've got a dwarf, so I can do treasure find just because I'm always on you know, a chest hunt. It'd be cool to find a chest hidden somewhere, someday. But yeah, if you see something in the mini map like glow, let me know because that's, I don't know, a hidden thing. So anyway, so there's a couple of main areas. There's like a night elf area. There's an orc area. There's dragon statues. There's a couple of caves. There's kind of like I'm not really sure what to call it, but the like old temple. Like if you've seen the ruins, the old night elf temples ruins that are kind of sporadically throughout the game, mostly around and inside like Mount Hyjal. Um, like in that zone, there's a bunch of broken old, like 10,000-year-old night elf ruins, that kind of thing. So there's a couple of different areas, and then if you played on Warmain, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, they had a Christmas event that was different than this one, and that was kind of hosted and I don't know, like put over in the other corner, in the other half of this place. So like I said, this whole zone, Ashara Crater, is pretty huge. And then, so to go into a little bit of the history of this place, in WoW Classic, like during development, they were going, this was already in the works. This Ashara Crater, um, and they didn't finish it. And then Burning Crusade, it kind of got revisited. They were like, maybe we'll finish it and put it in the game. Didn't get it, put it in the game. Same thing happened again for Wrath of the Lich King, and then I think Pandaria too. So they've talked about it quite a bit as far as like putting it in the game, but as far as I could see and look up online, I don't think it's in the game. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. But it's really cool. I fly around the whole area, tried to do like a relatively straightforward grid pattern, and not really a grid, I should say. Like I go to an area and explore it thoroughly, and go to another small area and explore it thoroughly. Grid's too hard for me to keep it straight. But um, so yeah, I'm gonna fly around the main area a little bit, and then get into the cool thing that I found is really it shocked me. Like honestly it scared me when I found it. So I was flying through the air, which maybe you could get here in game if you're in the crater kind of thing. I don't know, like on our server, but exploring weird areas on our server is a good way to get banned. Like really honestly, just don't, because if you get noticed, get reported, get videoed, something like that, you're gonna get in trouble. Just don't do it. Make your private server and do it on your own thing, and don't mess with Warmain. But yeah. Anyway, so the cool thing. So I was flying through the air, and I like literally zoned into this temple that was floating in the air, and you can't see it at all. It's completely hidden. Like you can't see it until you're kind of in this certain area. So it's really really cool. Like I said, it scared me when I first found it because I was not expecting to see it. But yeah, this is why I do this kind of exploring stuff because this is really really cool. Like it's definitely hidden. You can only see it from certain angles. Like you have to be basically on top of it or zoning in through the walls of where it would be floating in the air before you could see it. So it's like my understanding of how they make dungeons and models and textures for this game is they make like say they're making this temple that I'm in talking about right here. They'll make this temple its own asset and then like in like a small little paint.exe kind of program, just as an example. And then later they'll put that asset, the model, once it's done, set up this temple or a dungeon or a cave or what have you, into the world on a cell that they have in place that's like the Azshara Crater cell. So they'll make the cell first, real rough, bare bones, paintbrush. This is our rough, our working area, and then like go back through, add details, add mountains, like find a definable zone, and like those are usually the mountains that separate zones in between zones. Like the Badlands has mountains, Red Ridge Mountain, the mountains around it, that kind of thing. But and like this zone here has mountains, all around it. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of my understanding of how they make things, and that's based off like things I've looked up and how they make other games, and just like using my brain. Like, there's no way that they made this model in this zone at the same time as everything else, because otherwise it would be a visual thing that you could see from the outside, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm maybe I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it, but I feel like I've gotten the point across, hopefully. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna fly around the rest of this place and check out some stuff. I tried to explore all the inside and then fly around the entire outside of the like obtainable walkable zone that you can normally get to. Yeah, so I'm gonna go around the inside and kind of explore everything once, and then run around the outside of the zone, like as far to the edge of the map as I possibly can get, and see if there's anything cool hidden out here. Sometimes there's like trees or houses or little textures or like I said, the paintbrush broad strokes. Like sometimes if you imagine you're quickly working on a paint project and you like have your paintbrush out, your paintbrush tool, and you click off to the side on accident, sometimes there's weird things like a hut that they dropped in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, one day I'm gonna find something like this thing right here. There's like spikes in the ground. There's like zippers. It looks like a zipper. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like a weird line in the ground. But I'm always like conspiracy theory thinking, if you follow the zip, it points to an arrow, and you have to be logged in at 2359 minutes, and like potioned up and like all this stuff, and then maybe this thing will appear. But I don't know. If you don't ever try, you'll never find anything. So hey, and like here on the map, like in my mini map, I see something. It looks like more orc structures, but I think just the mini map is off center from the actual location of the game, if that makes sense. But I do find a hole in the map too, so I can get into the like textures of the walls of the map. But I'm gonna fly around and finish the ring going around the outside real quick before I get into even more weird stuff. Try and do one thing at a time. It's hard sometimes. I get sidetracked, But if I go too willy-nilly, I'm afraid I'm gonna miss something cool. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the start of where I came in near those statues. So I'm gonna go back in and check some more stuff out. See if I can find. I'm gonna go to the hole that I found, the hole that goes like into the textures, and see if I can like see something else weird through. Sometimes you can see through textures and see something else. So like that weird temple that I found, maybe I can see something else, you know? Here it is. And like stuff like this you could definitely never do, you know, in game because you need to fly. So just watch my video. Don't risk making more main mad at you. I don't know. It's really cool. I like exploring stuff like this, so I hope y'all like it too. Because, like I said, you never know what you're gonna find. That temple is pretty cool. I've never seen that in a video. I've never seen that anywhere, and I feel like I've watched every WoW YouTube video you could ever think of. You know, like every exploring, every weird place in WoW, every that kind of thing. But pretty cool. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and see what else there is to get into. Flying under the map, I didn't really find anything else noteworthy. I was trying to get under the temple that from a couple of years ago. Like I mentioned earlier, they had a temple that was like mostly filled with water, and I think you kind of started near that temple when you spawned. So I was trying to find that temple and like zone in underneath it, or like see if there was a door or something like that, but no luck. It's just a wall, you know. And this is something I just didn't see from the outside. You can totally walk in there. I just thought I'd discovered a hidden cave, something, you know. So I was all excited when I found the cave, but it did. Again, this one's kind of scared me a little bit because I was not expecting to find a cave here, but it was just like kind of hidden from my point of view. But that's why I was exploring, under the textures because sometimes you can see things from different points of view. Like it doesn't load some textures in front of you and it loads other ones behind it, that kind of thing. So, like I said, no luck there, but pretty cool. And then I'm going to fly around a little bit more and then try to glitch like underneath that hidden secret temple thing that I found and check that guy out because that's really cool. There's like I'll take a little bit I'll take a little bit more time like exploring it, but there's like obelisk thing in the middle, like a spiral staircase ramp dealio that leads up to some other stuff. And then if you just fly up, I was hoping to like find a ceiling or find I don't know, just anything else that I could see. But if you fly straight up, you'll still be able to see that hidden temple. But if you fly like left or right or up or down or anything like that, you'll zone out of that temple, hidden temple. Not really sure how to describe it, but you won't be able to walk around inside of it anymore, I should say. And then like I walked around all around the outside of it, like trying to find I don't know, just anything, just checking it out. And yeah, like I said nothing really to find, but still pretty awesome. I've never found something that was hidden that you could actually walk into that was so elaborate. You see like little maybe a cave or maybe a hut or maybe a house that you can kind of finagle yourself into that is like invisible, but nothing like this. This is really awesome. And then just to push the limit as far as possible, sometimes when you zone off the edge of a map, like say you were in game, like an actual server, and you manage to make it past the normal edge of a map, like by healing yourself or some magical way. But anyway, get to the edge of the map and you jump off the edge. Like in some dungeons, for example, you can make your way to areas you're not normally supposed to get to and jump off the cell, like that the dungeon is built on. like Azshara Crater, like I said, is its own cell. That's why you can't find it in game anywhere. You get teleported there, so it's not like it's not hidden anywhere or anything like that in game. It's just its own thing. Like unlike GM Island, which you can get to from game, like from normal in game. It's not like a thing you have to teleport to. Programmer Island, I'm pretty sure you have to teleport to, but yeah. Anyway, so I jumped off the edge and then jumped off like the edge of the cell and tried to see just to make sure like I didn't pop up on the map somewhere, just just in case. But yeah, there's no. This is definitely its own isolated cell, just floating nowhere. Because I checked the map several times, like as I'm flying, and eventually I stop. So maybe I'll come here again, just as a quick little experiment, and fly around with like a shaman maybe, so that when I hit the floor, I can resurrect. Because even on a private server, you can't type once you're dead, so I'd have to like either jump with two dudes or I don't even know. I'd have to figure out a way to get two characters out there and resurrect one or the other and use reincarnation, that kind of a thing. But anyway, one more quick little thing I found online when I was researching this for this video was like later in Cataclysm they put maybe part of the Ashara Crater just north of Orgrimmar. So I thought I'd fly around in game and like check out north of Orgrimmar just with fly on just to make sure. But that's all I found for this exploring. Like I said, I didn't find anything too crazy except for that temple, which is actually pretty nuts. Like as far as hidden things, cool things, I've never seen anything like that. It's awesome. So anyway, let me know what you think. Do the YouTube stuff. I'd appreciate it. Like and subscribe. And I'm going to do a video on like the playthrough, just a real general video. I'm not going to give away like all the strats and all the best tips, just like maybe some things to get you started, to get you going. But just real basic broad steps, and I'll get started on that. But right now, I think the queue is about to pop for this event, so I'm going to get back into the game and check it out. And I hope that I see you online. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.